Loud. Let you in. Have you asked? Oh, here we go. Who's the impertinent child? Yay. Okay. If more people come in, we'll let them in. It'll be fine. Because it'll come up and say I need it. Okay, so this is something I started thinking about this last year, about how the notes in the scale relate to each other and what kind of ramifications that might have, especially for melodic writing. And how many of you have perfect pitch? There's a question. Do you have perfect pitch? So Stephen does, Tim does, Iggy does. And I think it's harder for folks who have perfect pitch to actually perceive this. Because I'll say, well, can't you hear that dominant to tonic motion? They're like, I heard A went to D. And they're not hearing the relationship between the notes. So those of you with perfect pitch, I'm hoping I can imprint this on you so it can help you. And I have feelings about the different, and who has chatted with me? Oh yeah, that was not with me, that was Mary Kate, okay. Do you know all these names? They're the names for the 7 notes in the scale. The tonic, the supertonic, put on your cape, right? Mediant is the middle, it's a third above. Submediant is a third below. Dominant is a fifth above. Subdominant is a fifth below. And then all you have left is leading tone. And if you're in natural minor, it's called the subtonic, relating to the supertonic. So don't think of the subdominant as being one under the dominant. It's actually the fifth under the tonic. Make sense so far? Yes. I want to see if I can see everybody. If it'll let me. It doesn't want to let me see everybody. Oh well. So shoot me a chat if you need me to say anything. So if you were thinking characters in a play, right? We have a protagonist, or in a book, right? Are you clear on what who the protagonist is? Say it really loud. Let's turn the fans off. I can't hear anything. Can you turn that fan off? Because I can't hear. So the protagonist is the actor, one that does stuff, the one we focus on, right? And some people might think, yes, that should be the tonic, but the tonic is not an actor. What is the tonic? The director. The director? When you get to tonic, what is your feeling? Home. Home. Yes. And home, who lives at home? Your parents, right? So this could be the parent. If any of you have studied about the id and the ego and the super ego, this is like the super ego. So, because it's the parent or the home, this is the place of rest. I believe that pretty strongly. And those of you who have perfect pitch, do you sense that when you're in a key? Can you feel that sense of we've come home? But you can also know when we've modulated and then when we've come back home. Although many of us who don't have perfect pitch still have a sense of that, which is kind of odd. So the protagonist is the actor and central character of a play or a book or a scale. So who would that be? Yes, the dominant is the actor. So this is the protagonist. I remember when I heard the first word, I was like, what does that word mean? I wanted to make sure you all knew that it's the person you identify with. In Hamlet, Hamlet is the protagonist, right? Some things have more than one protagonist, so you'll have like Star Wars, I was thinking of. You have a bunch of protagonists, don't you? In any given scene, you have a single one. So when Luke is with Yoda, Luke is the protagonist, he's the dominant, Yoda is the tonic, right? Now, we often, if we have a protagonist, we often have an antagonist, right? And the antagonist is against the protagonist, making life difficult or being devil's advocate. Do you think you want to do that? What about this? Who do you think would be the antagonist? Stephen.
I want to say, I feel like it would, honestly, I think it's pretty equal between, I would say, the supertonic, the median, and the submedian.
You think those are working against? Maybe. Do they have an urgency to them?
The leading tone has notes. I mean, I don't. It sounds like it's leading to home. It doesn't seem like it seems a bit.
Well, but in a way, it's saying, don't go off on your adventures. Go home. Let's quit. Right? We know where tonic is. Let's just go there. The protagonist has more to do, right? More places to go. Now, of course, I've been thinking about this longer than you have, and my answers may not be correct. This is just a way of thinking, if that makes sense. Caleb's nodding online. That's good. Now, I found it more difficult to figure out the other ones. So now we've identified 3 of the most important notes in the scale, right? What's the next most important or most commonly used note in the scale? And those of you online can hold up fingers, if you can think of it. So we have the 2, the 3, 4, 6. What's the next most important? Now I'm down on the bottom people I see, Don and Mary Kate. What's the next most important note in the scale? E.
Sorry. Is it the 2?
2?
Is it the 3 because it like completes the chord?
Yeah, the 3 is really strong in the scale. And 3 kind of is the bridge between the protagonist and the home, right? There's something about that. If you were going to make it a character, who would it be? Who are we missing? So we got the home, we got the actor, we got the against the actor. Who are we missing?
A friend?
Sibling or a friend. Now, do you think that would be appropriate for the 3? Friend. Could be. Yeah, the subdominant is a little trickier. And I'm thinking of, well, right now I'm thinking of Send in the Clowns, which instead of going so do does fa so do do, fa so do do. It has a sense of otherness, doesn't it? I haven't totally settled on a character for this. Possibly, it could be an alter ego. It could be the better self, right? Or the idealized self. I don't know. Well, and what do we call when you have a stand-in for yourself in a game? What do we call that? An avatar. Could it be the avatar? Pretty. Yeah, thank you for giving me that, because I totally forgot that word. And I kept thinking, I'm going to think of it, and I never did. Then we have two left. Supertonic. If I were in Jurassic Park, the first movie, who would be the supertonic? Kind of outside the action, where the whole steps on both sides in major, right? Can comment on things. Who would that be? Not the scientists, right? It's not the people getting through the muck and saving all the people, and right. The scientific guy who said, "Oh no, this happens. This is going to happen." The chaos theory guy.
Wait,
Wasn't his name Ian or something? Jeff Goldblum was the actor.
what I was gonna say is that I know that the supersonic, or at least works with pretty much every chord in a diatonic too. So I don't know.
Yeah, because it's got that whole step on either side. We can have it be a seventh, a root, a third, a fifth, a seventh, a ninth.
Is there something you could say about that? Like
How about an advisor?
the advisor to everything?
Advisor to everything. Oh, I like that. That isn't what I had before. I'm crossing out what I had. I'm not even going to tell you.
In fact,
Everything or everyone, right?
some media would also have someone that has a whole step on either side.
Yeah. This one, this is the one note in the scale. This is a very special note. It's the one note that doesn't belong to the tonic or the dominant chord. The only one. Because you have the dominant seventh chord takes 4 notes, right? And then you get 2 different ones in the tonic chord. So that's 6 tones. This is the tone that isn't.
Subdominant is any of them either.
Yes, it is. It's the 7th of the dominant 7th chord, and it is very commonly used.
Well, couldn't you say that that's the seventh of a major seventh, or in the tonic?
Well, you could, but at the same time, that's not what we've heard over and over again, right? Unless you only listen to jazz with lots of 7th, the 9th, and 11th, right? But the dominant, as soon as they got tonality back in the Baroque era, around 1600, the first 7th they added to any chord with the 7th to the dominant chord. And now it's called the Dom 7 if you're playing pop and jazz, right? It's very, very common. We're not going to get political here. Here were all of my ideas, and I want to hear what you come up with. It could be the detective, right? The person who's looking into stuff is outside of the action, right? It could be the man behind the curtain. It could be an influencer. And then I came up with adjectives, that it's innate, instinctive, and impulsive. Do you have ones to add or to challenge?
I think it's very much like a character with its own subplot. Like,
Ooh, I like that. that we get to travel over there a little bit. Like, okay, so the wizard in The Wizard of Oz, that's a character with his own subplot, isn't it? The detective is, if you read detective fiction where it's the same detective, you get to know the detective, but the story is about someone else, right? I like that very much. So then, how can this advise you when you are, let's see if I can make this bigger. Yeah, there we go, we're bigger. When you're writing a melody, if you want to focus on the protagonist, you just start on the dominant, right? We're focusing on the actor here. And many, many tunes go, so me, right? And then there's do, there's home, but you don't have to go there right away, right? My Bonnie lies over the ocean. There's the friend. We end that phrase on the friend. We started on the protagonist. We went through home. We got to the friend, right? Because when you get to home, you're kind of done. Especially if it's the end of a phrase. You're home. You're done. Why keep going? So, you remember all of this. Well, I go to MuseScore, or do we want to do this in our heads and on paper? Write a little tune in your head. You need to hear it in MuseScore to make your life easy? No. Let's make up a tune. Let's make up a story and who's entering when and see what kind of tune we get. Because I'm curious. Aren't you curious? Yeah. Being a composer is all about making choices, but what you learn through studying with different teachers who have been composing longer than you have is different possibilities and how to approach them. That makes sense? But what would a story be? Anybody have a story that we could talk about? It could even be a story that has happened here at JCI already.
How about the
Subway story. Okay, so our protagonist is
Kevin.
Well,
Oh, no.
well, it would be Charlie because he like went on his code and saw like the snap map and he saw that Kevin was at Subway.
No.
But like we don't really have a perspective on what happened at Subway.
Yeah, but neither do we have.
I think Kevin should be the protagonist and I should be maybe like,
The villain subplot.
am I the antagonist if I started this? I don't think he's very happy about this whole Subway thing, so maybe, I don't know.
Charlie could be the antagonist. Yes.
6 and 7 can you can go back and forth between them.
Charlie could be both 6 and 7. And owns. Charlie, do you have your own subplot? Yeah.
Okay.
I think maybe so. And what's home or the parent?
ACI, like the dorm rooms.
Is it the dorm rooms or is it a person such as Mary Kate who is kind of functioning as the parent to all of you, right? Maybe all of us teachers sort of are when you have a special thing where you need to be taken off campus or something. Mary Kate is the one who's going to do that, right? But it could be Mary Kate and UWRF are the tonic. And that's where we want to make sure all of you are more often than not. Who's the friend to Kevin in all of this? Is Subway the friend? Could be. Maybe why did he want to go there?
Although when Charlie discovered that, or that Kevin, like his map was at Subway, he was supposed with William at that time. Everyone was back.
Oh, so friend Mike kept William. Yeah. And they've been friends for a long time. And is that enough? Can we make this with, so we have 3 for the friend. Mary Kate is the 1, and UWRF. Charlie is the 7, and Kevin is the 5. Can we make a tune with 3, 5, 7, and 1? And what kind of feeling do we want to have about the first melody? If we end on the tonic, then it's like, oh, well, this was a short story and he went, but he came back home and that's it, right? If we end on Kevin, then we're focusing on his actions, right? If we end on Charlie, we're focusing on maybe the forbidden. Maybe bleeding tone is also the taboo. You think?
Wait. No, the subdominant needs to be Kevin covering up the story.
Oh, so we need the 4. So Kevin is covering up. He's trying to make a better story.
No.
Oh, yes, because this is the alter ego. Or
That way.
This might end up sounding like the Rite of Spring opening.
we have all those notes, don't we? Oh, fun. He does it over and over again with slight changes to the rhythm and order, not really the order of the pitches, but which ones repeat and stuff like that. It could sound like that, but we don't want to rewrite Stravinsky.
Did we agree? I don't remember if we did on having a 6. Was there a character with a subplot or not?
Charlie was maybe both. That's you. Are you both the antagonist and the character with your own subplot?
I could be, I guess. I mean, that's an extra note to use, so.
And if we have the same character being 7 and 6, should that be like an oscillation between 2 pitches? And could it be 7, 6, 7 or 6, 7, 6, 7, 6? What do you think?
I don't know, but technically by that logic, then shouldn't we oscillate between 4 and 5 as well? If that's
Yes,
both
between the
Kevin.
protagonist and him trying to say, I didn't really do anything bad.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't know. Right?
Yeah.
That could be good. Then we'd have these 2 different oscillations. And so since we have our characters, I'm going to stop this share, open up MuseScore. When it lets me, it'll take just a moment. Which note do you think we should start on? Should we focus on Kevin? And Kevin and his better self. And which one? We're just writing a melody, right? We'll write melody about Kevin and Subway, right? And should it be vocal? That's next. Let's make it a clarinet. I'm just saying that. And do we want to be a little off balance and have, we can just be in C major to make life easy, but do we want to have an off balance time signature, meaning an asymmetrical one like 5/8? If we're trying to explain ourselves and being kind of caught up in ourselves, that might be good. We want to pick up. could be, right? How about a full quarter note? That'll be fine. And then I will share this on Zoom. That's what I need to do. Okay, once again, I can't see everybody. We talked about leading in with Evan, right? Now, should we go 4-5 or 5-4? And I could do a little, let's see, annotate. I'm gonna
Should we start with the 7 and the 6 though? Because technically that's like I went on Snapchat and figured out,
You are the
like,
one.
and that's how we kind of found out that he was at Subway. So
Yeah, that might be good. So, Charlie, do you think 7 and then 6 or 6 and then 7?
I'm not really sure because both of those are kind of in a more awkward entry into a melody, but
Awkward could be okay, couldn't it? Now, I don't know if you guys heard that. On your headphones, you heard it? Not just on my little computer. And I want to see if, I forgot my big headphones, but I brought my itty bitty ones. I'll see if I'm hearing it well on this too. Why not? I can just do one. Oh yeah, that works. That's kind of cool. Now, at some point, we have to know where home is, but do we want it yet? Charlie talks to Kevin, right? And Kevin is both 4 and 5. Do you want 4 first or 5 first? And do we want to go up or down? 2 questions. 4 to 5. And are they going to be quarter notes, eighth notes? I'm thinking maybe quarter notes. And you said 4, right? Which is. And do we want 3 eighth notes here or the quarter note and 1 eighth note? Should we come back to F? Because that's what we're kind of doing, right? Alternating. So we have Kevin covering up the story. Yeah, story. We don't have William yet. Right? We're just seeing if we come up with a cool melody, Eric. We don't know yet. We've made characters for all the notes. Oh, yes. And Tim is off to a lesson, probably. Yep, Iggy.
Well, yeah. If you're gonna do William at some point, you should do both D or 2 and 1 because William was at home. So
Ah. So we need both the D and the C together. Are we getting somewhere interesting? We have not used tonic yet. We have not used home because Kevin isn't there. Oh, no, we did use it right here, didn't we? But we didn't use it where it felt like home, right? Home is Subway, but this is where William is. I thought William was the 3. But did we like this? You know, sometimes we have happy accidents. Although now I'm kind of thinking maybe we need to be in minor. What do you think? then we'll really get the antagonism between the 7 and the 6, Charlie. For the 7? Well, it's the leading tone, and Charlie's the leading tone. I changed the key to C minor. Yes. We Well, we don't have the supertonic. We have no advisor, right? And I feel like this one should be that. Which is a tritone, right? No, yeah. Well, maybe we go to the friend. And do we want to know where home is now? But we're only gonna visit it. Although we didn't have a second note. So we maybe have to change this one to something else. I don't know. And now we need Kevin again. Yeah, delete that one. Could this be the beginning of Kevin's adventure? Find out in the next episode. So, I don't know if it really works for telling a story, but at the same time, you get the feeling of, if I want to be on an adventure and just every now and again think about home, we can visit it just long enough so we know it's home, but have it be on an unimportant part of the measure and very short, right? And did we use all of the notes? Did we use all the notes in the scale? Yes, we used every single note. And did they feel like they meant something?
Maybe try half as fast.
Half as fast? Yes. Tempo. This isn't half as fast, but it'll be significantly slower. Is that better? Yeah, and we do have the Kevin note, but he's always preceded by his avatar, his better self, right? He would be embarrassed. I do know this, but okay. I'm going to save this one as my thing hasn't gone off yet, but it's going to any moment. My timer. So I'm going to open, you see, our Canon. Oh, yes, go here. And did some of you find it? It's on the Google Drive now. Okay. Now tell me if you can hear this, I hope.
us along, right? We can all sing this. So now we already have Kevin in here, don't we? And today we have Stephen here. And I know that he will want to tell us what the next words are.
I know we don't want to have it again, but yesterday you said something that
Okay, what was it?
I quoted it on. You said, I can't do my taxes, but I know
I can't do my taxes, but I know the circle of fifths. I can't, now how would we say that rhythmically? I can't do my taxes, but I know the circle of fifths. Ba-da-da, right? We could do that. I can't do my taxes, but I know. How's that? Yep. So what I'm going to do is, as a placeholder, put in the rhythm. I can't do my taxes. I can't do my taxes, but I. So 16th note's next, right? Oh, we need numbers. But I know the circle of bum bum ba-da-dum. So 8th notes, ba-da-dum, 16ths. Okay, so these are not the pitches. I can't, and I'll put the lyrics in, why not? I can't, oh, 2 A's, sorry about that. Do my taxes, 2 S's. This keyboard is not ideal any longer, but no, I can't do my tax. Oh, I see what I did wrong. Taxes is 2 syllables. But I know K-N-O-W. Come on, give me a K. My circle of fifths. I can't do my taxes, but I know my circle of fifths. Should it be the? Okay. Oop. I guess it's not his personal. I can't do my taxes, but I know the circle of fifths. And we haven't used exactly this rhythm. And you see going with that, it's contrasting nicely, isn't it? Now we're going to look at pitches. So right now we have A and C. We could do F or E. Which one do you want to hear first? We could do both. We could do E and then F, or F and then E. But let's look at what the note is before. The note before is D. What would be easiest to sing? It's just a step. And then we may want to stay on it because of this A going to G. Does that make sense? And we'll listen to just that. Oh, we have to make it really slow here so we can hear it. Works, huh? Now, here we have G and we have E. Do we want the C? Probably. But then when we get to this beat, what note are we missing in our chord? We have G and G. Well, we could stay on C or go to E. let's listen to it staying. That works, doesn't it? Now, but because we want to try all possibilities, so we know we've picked the best one. I can't do my, I can't do my, I can't do my. B works, doesn't it? I can't do my. Well, we have A and D. And B and A need what note? F. And if we want F here, even though I liked the B here, this is forbidden in 16th century counterpoint, is it not, Mr. Radloff? It is a melodic interval of a tritone. So we could do the C, but what would be easiest would be this, right? Ooh, that sounds pretty with the F there, doesn't it? Because that's our supertonic chord, DFA. And the D is the lowest sounding note. So it's in root position. Right? You always have to think about that. Then we have G and B. So we have G and B. When you have notes a third apart, you can add the third below the lower note or the third above, or in this case, the seventh of the chord. So what are our possibilities? A third below would be E, right? I can't do my taxes, but I would be easy to sing, right? If it were the seventh of the chord, what would it be? F. I can't do my taxes, but I, and it would have to go to E. It works. What other note? We have one more note we can do. Well, we already have G. Yeah. We want to try everything and vote. We could do D, GBD. It's the fifth of the chord. I can't do my taxes, but I, taxes, but I, we could go taxes, but I. Taxes, but I, but I. Although then it sounds like taxes, not taxes. That's kind of nice though. Okay, and then we have E and C, and what note are we missing from our chord? G. Which is the protagonist, yes? That'd be fun to sing. Oh, that's pretty. Because then it's more melodic. And any of the notes that don't fit, and actually they all kind of fit, are passing tones. But here our seventh is not functioning as the seventh of the chord, it's functioning as a passing tone, which is allowed. So we have to have the G here, and then we have B and D. Can we keep the G? Possibly. Our protagonist. Now we could make one of them a neighbor tone. Know the circle of, know the circle of, right? I can't do my taxes, but I know the circle of fifths, circle of fifths. If we want to have a circle of fifths, we could go to the B to make it a G chord, right? Or we could stay on G. Let's see, because this is, let's just listen to this measure and see if we like all Gs. And then we'll try the upper neighbor, which would be a whole step. Lower neighbor, I would say, let's make it a chromatic lower neighbor. Know the circle of. Know the circle of. Was it better than just singing G's? And then here, are we happy with an open fourth? Or do we want the B? Hey, gang, we got our next phrase written. Then I paste it here. And I paste it here. And do we have time? How soon are you? Do you want to hear it? And if you can, sing along. Oh, let's make it slow though, so we can sing along. Here we go. Yes. Was that fun?